So good evening, everyone. This is December 14th already. The year is flying by, even though it's like been dragging by also with all the junk going on in the world. Um, I think I just saw that finally Biden is officially president. So maybe one of the issues have been resolved. Who knows? um, Anyway, so this is Debbie Wetzler and David Silverman, I guess, will be on. And we have some other diamonds on with us, Carolyn Hoffman, and a lot of times Amy Stacy, even though I don't see her right now. And Paul, excuse me. I didn't see your face.
I'm here, Debbie.
The handsome one. And Amy's here too, so that's great. Anyway, so this is our team phone call where we all get together and kind of have recognition. We do welcome to the team and trainings and different things like that. So I want to say that, as I say pretty much every week, it's always great to see everybody's face, and it just kind of helps us stay part of a family and get to know anything that might be going on with any of us. I was just asked about the GoPro. He had, in case you didn't go to GoPro this weekend, it's an excellent. I do have 18 pages of notes. They gave some really very significant information this year. And, one of the things that I think was brilliant were the assignments. And I've given assignments before, but, to do it on an ongoing basis is just something I was like, oh, that's just brilliant. But anyway, there were so many things that people got out of that, and I can let some people maybe give their input. But he does this every year. It's always in December. And next year it's only $97 right now until the 14th of, wait, is that today? No, it's
till the 21st.
Thank you. It's till the 21st. So, so you have till the 21st. And if you want to get better and much better at network marketing, he does have leaders from around the world who have, and they don't ever say their companies, but you get some fabulous information from all these people about how to do network marketing more professionally, how to be a better leader. And he went into 5 areas: presentation and social media and personal growth and leadership. And I know I was going to forget one of them.
Transformation.
Duplication.
Transformation, yeah.
Anyway, so
It was duplication.
Duplication, thank you. That was it, duplication. So he gave some really significant information about all of that this weekend. And I'll probably have some people talk about that and some of their takeaways. But anyway, so I mean, you can't get any cheaper than that for all the information from all the different amazing leaders that are there earning millions of dollars. And so if you can at all afford the $97, go to GoPro. Wait.
GoPro 2021.
Right? Thank you.
2021.
There's David. Okay, GoPro
2021
and get your $97 ticket because it's well worth it. I mean, and it wasn't as overwhelming. I'll just say this last thing. It wasn't as overwhelming for me this year because you were sitting in your own home. It was peaceful. There weren't lights and noise and music and stuff playing all the time, which is overload sensory to me. And so I was able to get so much more out of it this year and take a lot of notes. And if, I mean, during the breaks, I could mute and just have peace and quiet and stuff like that. So I really got a lot more out of the virtual one than I did even going there. And I know I love our live events at convention, but it's not as much sensory overload. So anyway, David's here now too, so I will let him say hello to you guys and take it away.
Well, I'm not going to go through the normal welcome thing. I just, if there are new people here, welcome. But I have to tell you, I was blown away this weekend too. And I think it's just changed things. There were 40,000 people at this event, and it's accessible by everybody now. I mean, I paid $300 for it. I think last minute it was $400. And Debbie just said, if any way you can afford it, I'll just tell you right now, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford not to be there. I don't,
True.
I was stunned by it, actually. Um, on all fronts, the meat, the skills, the teaching of the skill sets from social media to telling your story, teaching how to tell your story, how to do a presentation, all the components that are needed, to the inspiration and the stories of people who had nothing. I mean, nothing. People had nothing, got introduced to network marketing, it changed their lives. People that had been in network marketing for years didn't know what they were doing and then decided to invest in themselves and just went full out and said, the hell with where I'm at. I'm not staying here anymore. It was really, I mean, there were a few personalities that I didn't jive with, which is fine. I mean, that's the thing when you go to any event, you're going to get that. The woman, who's the one that's the social media, the TikTok queen who is
Jessie
like,
Lee.
Jesse,
yeah, see, and that's not my style. And it's okay because I know it jive with a lot of people. You know, I know, and the thing is when you go with your team, you don't know who's going to love who. So what I want to do is
I
get
thought you sounded just like her.
I think when you hear people share, I think when we hear people here tonight share, which is really what we want to focus on, what they got out of it, you get an idea. And Eric's close last night when he finished and he said, close your eyes. And what he said was dead on. It was dead on. And I sat there thinking, man, this is what people need to hear. And basically, if you were there, you know what he said. If you weren't, he was talking, this is 3 9-hour days, 10-hour days. I mean, it was a lot of time. It was a lot. It was a lot to absorb, right? It really was. But what happens at these events happens at conventions too. People come home, they're there and they are emotional. They're high as a kite. They're going to conquer the world. Then they get home and the world sets in. And somebody says, some guy, where have you been for 3 days? Like you didn't do this. You should have done that, this, and oh, there's COVID and this and that, and do this and do that. And it's easy to get sucked back into, I don't want to say hell, but sucked back into life. I mean, you know, and the energy goes down and all the dreams you had and the actions you're going to take, if you don't do them right away, then forget it. A week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, and then you're praying for another big event to get pumped up again, just to come down. And the way he closed it out was really, really, really powerful. And I sat there and I prayed to God that people on our team that were there listening to it were taking it to heart, because too many people just do this and then they do this. And all those winners that spoke did not do this. They just pushed and pushed and pushed. And who was the African-American lady that spoke? Was the swimmer?
Nichols was my last name. Jill?
Lisa
Nichols.
Lisa
Lisa.
Nichols is on The Secret.
She's in The Secret.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That story about swimming and,
Phenomenal.
you know, winners never quit, quitters never win. And yeah,
She
that was
was
emotional stuff.
fantastic.
So,
I like when she used her 2 glasses. Do you have
Yeah.
prison glasses?
Right.
We have
Yeah.
out glasses.
If your life's too bright, give them shades.
Over, your life is over, or your life is great. I mean, really, that's the truth. I love that part.
yeah. And Bruce and Barbie, you guys have been to the top of a company. You know what it's like being at the very, very top. And, you know, it's like they say, you got to be willing, coachable, and hungry. And the fact of the matter is, most people are not. They're not going to be all three. They may be coachable. They may read all the books and do the classes, but they're not hungry. They don't attack it. And God, every single bit of it was great. So Debbie, why don't we just ask people who are dying to share, just to take like
Sure.
maybe 1 minute to 90 seconds max, and we'll have to cut you off if you're going too long, because I want to get as many perspectives as possible. How many people were there, by the way? I mean, I'm only looking at 20, so there were a lot. And that makes sense. That's why you're here. You're ready to go. So should we do, Debbie, do you want to, should
Yeah.
we do that?
No, I think that's great. I think, and you might, because you might hear something now, because you can't possibly take it all in. You might hear something now that, that you kind of missed. So
And you
anyway,
know what? And be honest about where you are, your rank now, how long you've been in, and maybe a struggle you've seen with yourself and what you got out of this, the biggest thing.
Okay, so we should probably call on people because people go faster. So Peggy Burse, you're at the top of my screen.
Okay, I'm muted. Yeah, so I've been in a while. I'm Director 700. I've lost some of my team members, and what I got out of it was, well, I loved Fraser Brooks and, his 5x5 kind of formula for social media. I loved the concept of assignments and the concept of creating structure. And I loved the woman that was the event organizer, Barry Hegman, I think.
Yes.
And she kind of talked about the psychology of objections. So most of the time you hear, if somebody says they don't have any time, well, you tell them this. And if they say they don't have any money, you tell them this. But really, she delved into why people say that, and the whole concept of their spouse being non-supportive is either a real reason or a shield. And I really got a lot out of that. I think I have 60 to 75 pages of notes, so I'm trying to go through some of those and took pictures of the screenshots. But yeah, I got a lot out of it. I couldn't have taken the accelerator or anything more. I still have to implement things from the November training and from this training, but lots of really good skill training.
Right.
Perfect. Nancy Scharf.
Lisa wants to go. She needs to go.
Okay, Lisa.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm in the middle of I'm getting my kiddo ready for bed. I'm on a little bit late, so I just wanted to share. Thank you, Nancy, very much. I think the biggest thing that I got out of it, well, there were a couple of things, but one of the biggest is just that we all have an impactful story to share. And so many of the speakers, all of them, I feel like they all touched my heart. And I felt the connection. I mean, some of the stories were just really, you're right there with those people. Pete Vargas, Lisa Nichols, so many of them. And I just, even some of the audience members, I mean, the woman that was talking about, she's taking care of a child with special needs. Right now, she's being an incredible stepmom, and she used to be a drug addict, and her life turned around. So I think the biggest thing that I got was that everybody has a story to share, and it's going to resonate with people. We just have to share it in a certain way for that to happen. But we should be very proud of what we do and what we can give to people. It's a gift. And it makes me think that I will never, ever, ever stop sharing, because whether it's the product or the opportunity, it can change people's lives. I mean, you heard about Lisa Nichols. She talked about not having diapers for her baby and having to use towels because she had $11 in her bank account. And if she didn't find this profession, where would she be? And look at where she is now. So I think nothing should stop us. We should never be afraid of sharing. And that's what impacted me the most. So thank you for letting me jump in.
Sure, absolutely.
So many.
All right, and I'm going to call on Lynn Matthews next because she has to go also.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thanks, Lisa.
Of course.
It was really interesting. I was hesitant to do this training because I've gone to so many where it was just a lot of hype and not a lot of content. And like David was saying, I have a notebook full of notes. I was so blown away with so many salient points that you could use immediately for yourself and for your team. Pat Quinn, I loved his stuff with stories and this whole heart, head, hand, heart, and really finessing your story, because we all know that that's such a critical part of sharing this. And then another thing that I really liked, because I haven't done this, when you're taking your new associates from dependent to independent, the idea of assignments, to just see how serious they are, because I have spent so much time with people who say what they want, but their actions don't follow what their voice is saying. And this is such a brilliant way, even if it's little tiny things, if they do even those little tiny things, maybe that's all they can do right now, and that's okay. So you can meet them where they are, but you know that they're at least committed to doing something. So that was a big takeaway. And he also, what I'm planning to do, one of the things as an action item before the end of the year, is to go back and literally look at all of my associates, those who maybe said they wanted to do something and haven't done anything, and just reconnect and say, look, in 2021, are you serious about a business? If you are, I'll help, you know, I'm there to run with you, but I just need to know what's your level of commitment, and just kind of going back to those folks who maybe got lost in the cracks, and maybe now is the time, right? I don't know what their
And
2020,
then give them an assignment.
and then give them an assignment. You're darn right. And the third thing is with social media, and I love Fraser as well, but when, I think her name was Charlene, when she was talking about Instagram, because I have not even looked at Instagram, because I'm like, oh my God, my head exploded with Facebook this year. But the fact that when you're new, if you've got less than 10,000 followers, that 80% is shared content, that just freed me up and made me like, all right, I can do this. I know Carolyn is like, I can do this.
You know,
So I just wanted to share those three
I've been
things.
doing that for years. Oh, I like that. Let me reshare it.
well, you know, a couple things from what people said, you know, what Lisa said, she's gone now, but telling your story, I mentioned that earlier, that, you know, if you get good at telling your story, everybody can have an amazing story, but you can't, it's like, you know, when I wanted to be a foot surgeon, it wasn't like I said, well, I want to be a foot surgeon and I'll figure it out. I mean, I went to school. I mean, I studied my butt off. I did rotations in hospitals. I did all these things to get to that point. And the payoff in that was wonderful. I mean, the emotional payoff for what I got, the financial payoff, there was no time freedom in it, right? Here, anybody can do this. Anybody, you don't have to get a college degree or a residency. You don't have to do any of that. But you got to treat it seriously. And when they announced this training, you know, we had done Brian Biro, which was amazing. We did the 7-day recruiting challenge, which I think kind of wiped everybody out. And I was thinking, God, do we really need this? You know, do we need another 3 days of this? But thank God, I guarantee every person that did it, they might have had some doubts about doing it, but they're thankful that they did. And it's an investment in yourself. And what Lynn just said, and Lynn's a platinum, everybody's setting goals now. I mean, I got goals set by people who are going to be paid platinums, paid golds by just talked to Kate Meyer today. She's going to be a paid gold by Envision by March. Triple diamond. You got to find the people who are going to do it. And what Lynn just said is the same thing that Denny said to us all. I said, listen with your eyes. People talk, giving them an assignment. If they don't do the assignment, just watch. If they don't do it, then don't give them your time. Don't beg them to get involved. Just go sponsor some more people. Get good at recruiting people so that you have more of a batch to see who is a possibility here that's going to really do this thing or lead you to somebody that's going to do it. It doesn't have to be a person you bring in, as long as they're introducing you to people. That's how this business works. That's how Debbie built her business. That's how I build my business. Very, very, very few people recruit superstars. They show up. I think Eric said, what was it? At the average $1 million earners, the average person has 25 quote unquote leaders in their organization. And they don't have to be superstars. They have to be good, solid leaders, right? 25 out of thousands of people, right? So I'm very excited, Lynn, and I know there's several people that are taking the accelerator program, which I think is fantastic too. I mean, it's an investment in yourself, and it's a lot cheaper than college, having put 3 kids through college, no scholarships out of state. It's a lot cheaper education for $10,000. Who else
All right,
wants to
so
share?
I was
Go
going
ahead.
to call on. All right, Barbara.
Oh, Am I muted? No, I'm unmuted. Or that's David.
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
It was really, really, really special. Like David said, Bruce and I were at the top of another company, and we were in that company for 20 years and have been to so many of these things. The first one I went to was 25 years ago when I saw Zig Ziglar. And Eric is my Zig Ziglar. I love Zig Ziglar. Eric to me is like the next Zig Ziglar. I didn't realize how much heart he had and that how much substance could be. I mean, we were there, we sat on that couch 12 hours a day. I mean, it was insane to do this in your house and stay motivated. But I mean, there were some things, and I love Dean Graziosi. I've never, ever seen or heard him. I thought he was fabulous. You know,
I liked his vocabulary.
oh God.
Of course you do, Bruce.
Yeah, we were used to that vocabulary. But you know, when he said things like, do you do well when your confidence is down? Yeah, my confidence is never down. Bruce and I sat and talked about it. No one can bring down my confidence. And you know, you got one chance, but focus on what you want out of life. And I loved when Eric said, most people cannot realize the value of network marketing. They don't realize the value. So you have to see the value in network marketing, because where else? Bruce is going to be 74 in February, and I'm going to be 73 in March. We just built our 6th home. We can do whatever we want. And we see people around us our same age that are like, oh, do you want to go to lunch today? Oh, what are you going to do? We're putting this whole yard in with a bocce court and all this stuff. How would we do that? I mean, most people our age are, unless you're independently wealthy, you're on your Social Security and whatever money you have in the bank.
Or they're on Depends.
Oh, shut up. That wasn't independent. It was dependent.
Depends are on them.
So, you know, if any of you were in this for the first time, don't miss the next one, and don't miss bringing people to the next one, because $97, we bought 3 of them. 1 for us and 2 for 2 special people that are going to come into our business. And we had people on there that were in our other business. And I want Susie to say something. She's on here. And Sharon Parzielli, who called me today, and we had a 40-minute conversation. These people weren't sure, weren't ready, don't need it. They don't need this. We don't need this. And I wasn't hungry. And David knows that. So we've been platinum for a long time. But I'm hungry again. And I didn't think I would be. But, you know, being at the top of a company, I figured, I don't care. But you know what? I do care. I give a damn. And I'm hungry now. So I'm glad I did it. I can't wait. I've been telling everybody about the women, most powerful women in network marketing. When is that? I thought it was in March. Is that going to be on virtual?
I'm sure
But
it will be.
Everything's going to be.
It's probably on Network Marketing Pro right now.
yeah, I mean, get that $97 ticket if you can do it, because in a year, you're going to be sorry when it's $400 or $500.
Yeah, definitely.
And just the fact that it's going to be done.
You know, many of us were in that other company, and we all know the #1 income earner was dumb like a fox and told the best stories around.
That's
Right.
That's all he did. He knew the business, but he was a storyteller. And he was the #1 income earner in that company for many, many, many years. And it's really, you know, some people like your story, some won't. You know, some will, some won't. Who's next? That's it. You're not going to please everybody.
Yeah, well, it's all about a decision. I mean, once you make the decision, everything falls in place. So it's absolutely true. But Tyler says it all the time: committed decision, not I'll try or I think I will. It's like, I'm getting this done. And it is, Barbara made a decision even before the event that she was coming back and she was going to do this. She did a fast forward, you know, as soon as she made the decision. And anybody can do this. Who
David,
else?
David, I've never done a business plan in my life, ever. I don't even know how to do a business plan, but now I've got the substance to do a business plan. I've
Yep.
never, ever done one, and I'm gonna do one.
Did you Google it?
No, I didn't Google it.
But that's what
I
I
looked
know.
in, I looked in my million notes and I just printed out everything that I got because I joined the other 7-day and I bought his lifetime 7-day videos, and I just printed out, like, I think I used a whole thing of the ink.
Well,
on-
one thing with the business plan is, I had several people today talk about the ranks they want to hit. And Edwina Lee said, big goal, I want to be Ambassador Diamond by next GoPro. And she goes, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And talk to your upline about this, because it's breaking it into pieces. And, you know, she's a diamond now. And you need to break it into pieces, right? So I'll do it on a simpler level for you. It's not this giant thing, right? It's a plan. Who was talking? Kate Meyer today, Gold by Envision. And I just threw out there, I said, can you see it? And I said, hey, help a person go bronze on your right and a person bronze on your left, and they're qualifying. That's 4,000 points on both sides, because a bronze has 2,000 and 2,000. On this side, this bronze has 2,000 and 2,000. That's 4,000 every week if they're qualifying, right? And you need 5,000 a week for gold. She wants to be qualifying gold. So between whatever else you got going on, so I said, shoot to have 2 bronzes on both sides, because if a couple of them don't qualify, you're still good with the 5,000 of volume, and it starts to click. And with Edwina, it was, you know, Ambassador Diamond, and like Debbie's Ambassador Diamond. And, you know, it's 60 that you have to be triple diamond, number one. It's 25,000 on both sides, right? But then it's about personal group volume. You have to have at least 60,000 in personal group volume, not binary volume, but no more than 20,000 from one leg. So it's either 3 legs with 20, or 2 legs with 20 and 2 legs with 10, or 2 legs with 20 and 4 legs with 5. But it is strategizing what it is that you need, and you find the hungry, coachable, willing people to work with. And if they're working and putting people in front of you and building, and then you know you've got someone to work with, and that's going to help you get to where you want to go by helping them get to where they want to go.
Yeah, make
Susan?
sure that you know what the requirements to get there. I just had somebody said, I want to be diamond. Now, how many Director 300s does that take? And I'm like,
Right.
if you want to be diamond, you need to know how many. And somebody said 7. I said, no, not for diamond. You need 6.
Right.
You guys have got to know what it takes to get there too. Anyway, I know Susan would like to say something. She raised her hand. Susan?
Actually, Barbara wants me to say something. And so I'm trying to follow my leader, do what she says. That's my
Okay.
first assignment. Some of you know I've been around for a while. I've been a tourist with ASEA for, I don't know, Barbara, how long? 7 years? Something like that. I've gone to a lot of events. I love them, but I've loved being a tourist. I love hanging out with everybody, and I love what I learn. But it's time now that I make a decision and get off the fence. And so my life changed about 3.5 weeks ago. My mother passed away. Oh
I'm
gosh.
sorry.
So now I have time, and I need something. I need this. She was 3 weeks shy of being 101.
Wow.
So it's hard at 68 to become an orphan. But anyway, I really paid attention. You want to talk about last minute? I signed up an hour and a half into it on Friday. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to invest any more money, but I just said, you know what? This could be my last shot at doing something. Some of the quotes really got to me. And one of them is, time is irrelevant. Time is not relevant. Timing is. And that sort of like resonated with me, that maybe timing is now. And another one was that I have to deal with my own objections. I have to overcome my own objections, and I have to ask for help, and I have to learn, and I have to stretch and grow, because time is running out. We never know. Although with my mother living to almost 101, you never know. I might be rolling across the stage in a wheelchair. Who knows? But thank you for allowing me to speak.
Of course.
Thank you, Susan.
And since
sorry.
Sly Stone was on, Sylvester Stallone, who I've had a lot of respect for. He was born, slightly crippled because coming out of the birth canal, they had to use 2 forceps and it cut his nerve endings. And that's why his face droops and his mouth droops. And he had to overcome that on top of everything else, trying to be an actor. But before most of you were in, Trish and Alan Noble used to do the Charge Up Call every day. And Alan always would say, because Rambo was a series that he did also, and he said, don't be Rambos. And that stood for rarely achieve much by oneself. And he would always say, you cannot do this by yourself. You have to have a team. You have to have support. You always have to have, 3 ways and help from your upline until you know it. And, learning from your upline until you know it. And so I just thought I'd bring that back up because I know I'm sitting here with Danielle and Jackie and Pearl Bowen, and none of them had heard the Rambo part. But Alan used to say that almost every day. Because I used to listen to the Charge Up Calls like 10 years ago, every day. So just remember that, guys. The team is a big part of what you're doing. And, that's who you lean on until you are one of the leaders. And then you can teach that to your team. So make sure you use this, Susan.
Who else wants to share? Catherine looks like she wants to. Catherine, and we forgot to everybody tell what rank they are, how long they've been in and so forth. But Catherine, where are you?
I believe that I'm well, Buffy, I think I'm a director. I just started. So I just have one person that signed up and I've got 2 customers. So, and I've only been, a month?
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share what I thought from each day, like one thing that I thought from each day. So on the first day, what really resonated with me was don't wait for perfection. Okay. Because we all want to look the best and be the best and say the best thing. And that's, something that I struggle with as well. Right. So that really resonated with me, although there's a lot of other things. And in day 2, I really like the concept of failing forward because we are going to fail. I mean, failure is good. And we heard from Trent Shelton that, failure, you need to embrace that because it's going to happen. Your no's are going to come. Your yeses are going to come after your no's, but you have to push through that. And it's hard. It's really hard, but you still have to do that. And the thing that I love the best, and this is what's most important to me, is Dean Gracioso, where he said, do you really love what you do? I want to thank Buffy and Carolyn and all of the ASEA team, because for me, I studied. I couldn't do anything with my education that I spent dollars on. And this is like something that I am so grateful for. You'll never know how grateful I am. I feel real. I don't feel like an imposter anymore. I feel like this is it. We have a beautiful, wonderful product that we can help so many people with. So anyway, I'm just so grateful.
Catherine, I feel the same way. I mean, it hits you or it doesn't hit you. And being around a sea of people and attending events and showing up is where you figure out if this is it. So many people come so close to realizing that this could be their life purpose and they miss it. They come so close. One thing Trent said that stuck with me, especially in ASEA. I mean, some of these companies, I posted on Facebook today, a lot of those people I feel badly for, the 40,000 people, because half of them, their companies won't even exist in 5 years. They could put all their heart and soul into it, and they'll have to find another company. They're going to get burned. And that's the nature of this industry. We're so blessed with this. And I put in the video, the talk I gave at the Webvention on why we should appreciate this. But what Trent said was, we're all blessed, everybody there. I mean, not just us in ASEA, but especially us in ASEA. We're blessed to have the opportunity to fail, is what he said. We're blessed to have the opportunity for people to say no. we have such a gift to share. If we didn't have it to share, then we couldn't fail, but we wouldn't help anybody. That stuck with me.
David, can I share?
Please, Renee, how do you
Yeah.
feel?
I'm getting better a little bit day at a time, but I overdid it on Friday. I just couldn't watch everything on Saturday. But anyway, what I walked away with, one very powerful thing is that I need to get clear on my activity because there is power in clarity. So just the simple work of network marketing. You have prospects, you invite them, they look at a tool, you follow up, you ask them where they are in the process. Maybe you launch them and then you get them to events. That is the work of network marketing. So you got to get clear on what your activity is, because as you always tell us, you want to do the above the stuff, above the line stuff, right? To build your business, and then maybe 20% below the line. But, you know, if I want to keep my business growing, that's what I need to do. Get clear on the activity. So that was great for me. And I'm new with the company since July, Director 700. Yeah.
Not for long.
Yeah.
Important level. Important
Hopefully.
level.
I just got to keep doing that activity, right? Got to do the
it.
meaningful stuff.
That's it. Grant Cardone.
You just do it over and over and over again, right? You do it over and over and over. It's the simple. It's the basic, right? Because what are you going to do, David? You're going to do the same thing. You're going to invite people to look at it, right?
Absolutely.
How are you going to get to your next rate? You're going to do the same thing I'm going to do.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Go Renee. Can I go next?
Sure.
So yeah, hi everybody. I got, well, first of all, I'm D700. I started in the spring, and got all excited because I was moving forward. And then we had a family crisis, almost lost our youngest over the July through October. We were involved with that. She's back home now. And so I wanted to recommit, and I thought this would be a great way to get rejuiced or whatever. And I know, David, you said something about Jessie Lee Ward, but I do love her. I actually follow her on social media. And I love that she says, you do you, because I sometimes feel like maybe I'm a little quirky and a little different, and she just speaks to me. So I love that. And then Sylvester Stallone said, did a lot of talking about being true to yourself. And then I can't remember, it might have been Eric talking about lead yourself. I really love that. And then Marina said, forget the how. And they were talking about massive action. And I thought, that's where I get hooked a lot, is how do I do this? And try to start following the guidelines, but it's just about, like Renee was just saying, just jump in there and you just gotta be in action. So I just thought it was funny today. I was sharing with someone, a man named John, and we were talking about meeting, because he's actually a contractor at one of my properties. And I wanted to meet him because I had brought up, long story, but problems in my house. I had brought up a CF for his guys because they're worried about having so many difficulties with COVID and getting ill in people's properties and, all kind of stuff. And he said, and we just keep missing each other. And he's like, yeah, I have such a hard time. I don't know, I'm going to be able to meet with you. I just don't have the time. And I said, wow, that's really a shame. How do you like not having any time freedom?
There you go.
So that came out of this whole weekend. So I'm jazzed, and I did the accelerator thing. So
good for you.
Now that Amy's doing, and I figure we can bump each other along. And
that's awesome. It's awesome, Belinda.
I'm psyched.
I think you got a couple people, and glad your daughter's doing better. You have a couple people in your upline who are doing it also. I think Amy's doing it, and she's a triple diamond. I'm not sure if Amy's on or not.
She is.
She is. And also Carolyn and Paul Hoffman, are they in your upline, or no? That's a different line, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought she was.
Yeah,
She's on here under Carolyn, under somebody else or something. Yeah.
Well, I think Carolyn changed her name to Janine, so I don't know what's going on.
I
Yeah.
saw that.
So awesome, Belinda. That's phenomenal.
Thanks.
And Carolyn and Paul, do you guys want to share? Janine?
Oh, Janine. I'll tell you what that is, David, is because I actually use this computer to log in when I'm doing the Ask the Doctor as another name, so I can check what other people are seeing. So I'm able to know. So it's like, so I can define which one it is. That's got a fancy name on there.
So I'm doing Ask the Doctor tomorrow night. So when I see Janine, I know it's you.
Yeah, there you go. I'll have to change it again.
Or maybe it's your alter ego.
Okay.
So I had a couple of thoughts. One was actually to Bruce's comment. If I remember correctly, that guy who was the #1 earner in that former company was a light bulb salesman, right?
Yes.
And I wouldn't say he was the brightest one in the box either, but he told great stories and he rose to the top. So I think that opens up the opportunity for all of us.
And the same story every darn time, right? Absolutely the same story.
Yep.
Years ago, we were doing a presentation, and at one point, one of our downline had said afterwards, just, really should consider changing the presentation a little bit. It gets after like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, it gets a little boring, the same thing over and over and over again. And I said to her, I said, well, obviously you don't understand that the story in the presentation is not for you. It's for the guests that you're not bringing, because when they come, it will be a first time they ever heard it. So,
right.
Got an aha.
Yeah, they used to say that on three-way calls. It's the same story every time. Well, this person's never heard it.
Right.
Another point to what David said earlier on briefly about a business plan. Stephen Covey has these habits, and one of those habits is to begin with the end in mind. And that's what goal setting is all about. But it's not just simply to pick that goal. And as Debbie said, well, what is the requirements for that goal? You don't stop there. And what happens in a business plan is you then start to go backwards. And you start going down by level, by the requirements. So you start to then fill in everything. It's not just saying, well, I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to get 300 associates and I'm going to become a diamond. You've got to back down, fill in all the gaps. And then you actually have to know what it is for bronze, silver, gold, and be realistic in that whole perspective.
Well,
what's going on over the weekend, and I think what many people took away is a lot of hows, a lot of things to do network marketing, which is incredibly important. One of the things that resonates with me continuously over all these different personal training courses and everything, is I think it was Eric who actually made the statement, is that he says you need a why that makes you cry. And everybody needs to do that, because that's what gets you through those ups and downs. And that's what's so important. And that's why we're doing it, because at the end of the day, money is simply a tool for something else that's even bigger. And I think if we lose track of what the bigger picture is, then it's just money. Then it's much easier to sit back and just kind of chill out and let the downs, get you.
And Jeanette Chambers, I don't see her on here. She was there. But she said that something I said made something shift in her, because we hear that you have to know the why that makes you cry. And one time I worded it differently, and she said it hit me. I said it's the why. It's what is it that the why is something that you will not get. You realize you will not get it unless you're successful here. It will never happen unless you make yourself successful here. And she goes, that's what made me cry. Whether it was, about your children or doing something or whatever it is. So it's true. You got to get to that point. Carolyn, how about you? You guys are diamonds. What was the biggest thing for you?
I mean, I agree with you, as a lot of you said. I've been to the GoPro things before, and I think the challenge is a lot of the time there can be a lot of these stories about, going from broke to wherever or whatever the challenge was, which are inspiring, but how often do we walk out of those 3 or 4 days and then go and do nothing with what we've heard? And so I was just really excited to see the quality of all of the real skills that came from this, as well as the inspiration. For me, and kind of speaks to what you were just saying, David, is regret, right? Not wanting to get to the end of your life and regret the things that you didn't do. I mean, I'm already at the point where I regret things that I thought I was going to be able to do when I got older, not because I didn't figure I'd be any different, not kind of figuring in that age can sometimes mean you can't do certain things that you could do when you were younger. And so there's already regrets, but I think even deeper ones, memories with family, friends, I mean, all sorts of just, what is it that you want to sit back and think about what you achieved? So that's that legacy piece. And I just really, really thought that the ending was just so good to make us think about not getting back to our daily life the moment we do, and then put it off for a day, and then put it off for a week, and then put it off for a month, and again, not really achieve anything from what we spent our time learning here. So, I mean, we went all in for the accelerator. I think I had said to you today when I chatted with you, Dave, that, I plan to get a coach this year coming up in 2021, because I need someone who makes me literally accountable on a daily basis, because I want to get to these bigger dreams that otherwise I'm just going to go, well, maybe sometime, and then maybe not, Yeah. And so I'm scared because, you're on the nail for doing the work, but I'm excited because it's like, well, wow, maybe I'm actually going to get to those huge dreams in another year that I might not have done otherwise. And I'm going to be able to translate that with the team.
Beautiful.
Pass those skills on.
Yeah, I'm going to volunteer something that was slightly not on track with what you're saying, but going through the accelerator questionnaire, there are basically 5 major areas that create stumbling blocks with all of us. And I think the acknowledgement of what they are for yourself is important in order to get through that hurdle. So everybody who knows me well enough knows that I have an absolute fear of public speaking. This is a challenge for me. and that's something we're certainly going to work with the coaches over the year to develop or get past that. I also have that, I forget who it was who was talking about the 3 stages of a presentation, and the first one's the hook. And I don't have the fear of rejection. Thanks. I don't have the fear of rejection because that always happens. I said my biggest fear though is that I don't actually start with the right 2 sentences that's going to hook and allow me to get to where I'm really comfortable, and that I'm going to blow that terrific opportunity because I'm going to not get the right 2 sentences.
Is that kind of like when you like walking up to a girl at a bar or something, or right? I mean, you got to be on.
But you know what's really funny about that? When I'm out of town from where I live, no problem, I can do it. It's like,
well, don't tell Carolyn that.
When we're in Florida, we
met in an airport in Jamaica. So there you go.
No problem, Don.
Hey, the answer to that is ask questions, right? That's what it is. Just ask questions.
I did. I said, does anybody know what's happening to the flight today?
Well, the other thing he said, which I highlighted in yellow, was enter the conversation already going on in your prospect's head.
Right.
You got to put yourself in their head.
Mm-hmm.
When you do the hook. What are they thinking? What's going on in their head? That to me was profound. That's a skill that I can learn.
Yeah. Thanks, Renee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we've got.
I don't know if you've noticed, and I kind of said this to my team after we finished with the Pat Quinn piece, because I did a kind of intro course with Pat Quinn at the beginning of the year in January, and I bought their course for storytelling. And I started building and applying because I wanted to get to how do we hook people so that at the end of our presentation, they go, yes, 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 there is a skill, right? There is a structure. And I don't know if anyone's paid attention to it, but if you notice that I've changed over, well, it's a number of months now since I started doing this. When I started applying it to Ask the Doctor structure, the piece about what kind of way do you want to come into this business is not the last thing. As he said, you put people back into that technical buying piece, and you need to finish with the heart. And that's why I go back to the legacy and what a seer means. And I've moved all of those slides months and months ago into that third part of the structure of the story.
Beautiful.
Now we're gonna stop talking because Bob wants to get on.
Yeah, Bob, go ahead. Let's just do one more.
Can I ask?
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Debbie. Go ahead, Debbie. Go ahead.
No, I saw that Edwina Lee is on, and we rarely get to hear from her, so I would love to have her speak after Bob. If
Okay.
she's
Sure.
available.
So I'm going to piggyback on you, Carolyn. I love your slides. Thank you for sending them along. Pat Quinn was my biggest. I mean, they were all great stars, but Pat Quinn, I love the hook. You know, Hook Story Closed was Dean, but Pat Quinn just gives us a structure in anticipating what's in someone's mind and almost addressing the objections in his 3-style format where you have 3 things, then you nail them with the pivot and you nail them on the right with the other 3. It's such a simple structure. So I think Pat Quinn really nailed that part. Everybody was phenomenal. I mean, I didn't really know Trent. You know, I know he played football, but he had a lot of passion. And I love the way, like David said earlier, I love the way that that Eric closed with the kind of meditation visualization to get people into that state, right? Of like, when this happens, you know, where you're going to be in 2025, right? So now's the time to take action. And it was great to see a lot of my people involved in this. I know a lot of them probably couldn't afford it to go to an event like this. So it was great to see all of them on here. And it was just, I agree with what's been said already tonight. This COVID thing has changed the way we do business forever, because the interactiveness, to have 40,000 people involved for $300, you know, how do you do that? And now for $97.
It's doable. Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Edwina?
Okay, and the last one, right? Okay. I never liked MLM, but 2018 GoPro changed my mind.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I just want to state this because there are new people here. So Edwina is a diamond in Singapore and started about 3 years ago and hated MLM, came to the US to an event, to the convention, to meet everybody and get the big picture. She went back before Singapore opened, and a mom of 4, part-time doing this, diamond. I mean, just a sponge for information. She went to Eric Worre in Australia. She came to the United States. This is and without a lot of money to do it, but investing in herself. And so Edwina, I just want to get a picture of who's talking here. Okay, go ahead, Edwina. I'm sorry.
No problem. 2017 convention showed me leaders that I could trust, leaders that I want to be like them. You know, because before I went to the convention, I've never liked MLM. You know, it's like those things and those kind of people. But meeting the senior diamonds showed me a different type of person. And I was like, I don't mind being like them. That's a high compliment. I've never respected MLM leaders. Then I struggled through my business. And I was so frustrated because every good stuff happens in the United States. Every great coaching session, every great training is all in the United States. If I'm going to go convention once a year as a business commitment, I don't earn enough to go another time for a 2-day or 1 weekend conference. And GoPro is always in December or in May. And then we convention in September. I want to stay there for 3 months, then to fly to and fro. So I told God, I said, God, if one day that conference come nearer to me, I don't care what I do, I'm going. And for the first time, everybody did one Australia. I'm like, okay, great. Now I got to find the money to go Australia. And the flight is not much cheaper than going to the States, even though it's probably only 6 hours, 7 hours. So there I go. I asked David, if I take everything I earn in 1 year to go GoPro, will it change my business? Guess what David tells me? He didn't reply me. He did not tell me a yes. He can't tell me a no. I don't know what he tells me. It was very vague. But I figured if I do not go, I will never know. If I do not go, I do not give myself a chance. So as a total newbie, I went in there. I couldn't even write 4 pages of notes because I was overwhelmed. I have no idea what to write and I couldn't write fast enough. But I left the meeting with a very clear picture that this is a very dignified profession. And it's going to take hard work and sheer grit. Everyone who succeeded had nothing except one word. They had grit. They went out to work like mad. They went out from 8 in the morning. They finished at midnight. They worked their butt off and they stayed with it. that was the message that hit home as a newbie. I couldn't figure out the skill set and everything. It's just too much information. And I came back, I abandoned my team. I mean, I had a team, I was bronze then, but nobody was moving. Okay, so I said, okay, forget it. I will start from the beginning all over again. I go back, recruit a bunch of people. And that really got me started on my business, GoPro 2018. So GoPro 2020, between then and now, we had many trainings, we had many courses, I'm more skilled. And I asked myself, do I want to go to GoPro again? Isn't it the same thing? I have lifetime access to all Avix courses. I've been through all of them already. But by faith, I went because I wanted a social media piece. But I got more than a social media piece. Again, the same thing. But this round, I realized that the mindset is bigger. It went even bigger. Diamond is not a big deal. I know when I say this is unfair to the new people, but I think Carolyn agree with me, Paul agree with me. Diamond is not a big deal. We are still scared. We still know we have a lot more to do. And we know that we have so much more responsibility for people that we care about. And there's a lot that we still can't do. You know, it's still not different from 3 years ago, except probably I now know if I want to, I can do it. I just had to go and figure a way out. So the vision got bigger. And I came back to my husband, you know, what touches me this year is that behind 7-8 digit incomes are people who came from difficult places. They're not talented people. They come from so difficult place. They are not highly educated. They have a dysfunctional family. They have issues. They have problems. They are the rejects of society. And yet they make it to become a coach and a trainer, the best in class. You know, so when someone tell me, oh, you are special, you know, because you are diamond, because you can talk, because you're good, I cannot be like you. Say, hey, these people succeed with nothing, right? And now we are learning from them. So, and when they talk about how they contribute back to society, they want to change the world and leave a legacy, leave an impact, that hit home. You know, I need that emotional energy, because we face so much negativity from people around us that we need to know that we're doing something real good. Yeah, and of course, there's great skill set. One thing I like about this year GoPro is whether a newbie comes in, if my new associate comes, they picked up a lot of skill set from how to tell a story, how powerful is a story, you know, all the basics. And if someone comes in at a diamond level, we are still very, very empowered. We found simplicity, we found a more effective way, and we found that a heart energy. I think when David tells me he feels empowered to go to presidential, I mean, even someone at his level feels empowered by the same event. So it's an event for everyone. And I'm very sad that none of my team is here today, even though I promoted it. But I hope they hear this recording, because we need to go for events like that. And now being virtual is great. I don't have to pay a ticket and go all the way to US anymore. We all have an equal chance to attend this meeting, whether we have kids or no kids, whether we can go or don't go. We just had to live US time for 3 days. I'm still in jet lag mode, actually.
May I give you a compliment? Because if you'd asked me that question, do I need to go? Would it change my business? I would only say to you, it will not do anything for you if you don't put this into action. And what you did was go home and
Did it.
You are one of the best examples of putting things into action and really going for it, to turn your life around. And so it made all the difference for you because you went home and put it into action. So I want to give you a lot of credit and respect and honor, Edwina. I love watching what you do, and you're just a great example for everyone. So thank you, including
Absolutely.
myself.
I have the pleasure of doing that meeting with her every Monday morning here in the US, and evening there for her. We did it this morning. Great meeting, everybody. Testimonials at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on Monday on this Zoom. And then Edwina, next week I'm going to cut it to 30 minutes. I promise I'll do my part in 30 minutes. And
it's okay, David. We will continue to attempt to try that till you go percent super diamond.
Well, I'll tell you.
One of these days I'll wake up at 5 and I'll be on and I'll give him the hook.
Just watch the recording, Debbie. Just watch the recording. David tries to do a lot of hooks, you know, in that talk. He's trying to hook different types of people all over the place.
I'm trying to hook them all. I'm trying to hook all the fish.
The
for
hook
you.
meaning I drag them off stage. That's what I mean.
Well, let me give you guys an example of how to implement two things. One is the schedule for this week, and understand that you all have teams going. You're doing your own things. I'm just going to show you, what a couple things that we have happening this week. Okay, here's this week at a glance. And again, I made it a 2-page document because I love this how to order here. so many people, like I say, last week, I see people ordering, you know, 1 case, no auto ship, whatever. They watch this, you save this. I mean, watch it. Don't just send it, but save it and give it to everybody that's about to order and say, watch this, text me when you're done. I want to walk you through it. It's just it tells them all the benefits as to why they should order what they should order and the benefits. But here's what's going on this week. I put the recordings up that were just with Tyler Norton. They're still there, and there's the enrollment order one. But I'm not going to go through this. You all should have it. Everything that's happening now. What's happening right now when we leave, I'm going to show you one more thing before we end it, and whatever Debbie's got to finish up with. That's going on right now. And that's all the other diamonds sharing what happened, what they got out of this weekend. DiscoverASEA.com. That just started 3 minutes ago. Tuesday, Carolyn Hoffman and her team do this great two 10-minute tip talks. They're awesome. I'm doing the Ask the Doctor tomorrow night. Bring your guests tomorrow night. I'm going to do a full presentation. It'll be 60 minutes, 45-minute presentation, 15-minute Q&A. Bill DeBron's training is going to be great tomorrow night. And then obviously all the guest things Wednesday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern at DiscoverASEA.com. So a lot going on. As far as a business plan, I'm going to show you something. You know, the first conversation I had with this people that were giving me their goals was Edwina for ambassador. And I'm just going to show you what I did. I started working on this today. I want to see what I've got and what I have to do. So I'm looking at these are my legs, my personal sponsorship legs. And it's a big goal, Presidential Diamond. I mean, it's a big jump. I'm ambassador triple. I'm not qualifying an ambassador triple. It's close, but these ambassador levels are tough, but I'm qualifying it ambassador double. It's a big jump from triple to Presidential Diamond. You need 250,000 in personal group volume with no more than 50,000 come from any leg. So I'm kind of mapping out realistically, what do I have? Who do I have that's willing, coachable, and hungry? And who's going to use the tools, use me, and do it? And if I don't have what I need, that tells me how much more I have to go enroll. I'm going to have to enroll more people because I'm not just going to depend on people to become hungry, right? I want to find people who are hungry. And whether you're going bronze or silver or gold or platinum or diamond, you should map out, like Debbie said, know what you need to get there, and then evaluate. If you're brand new, you don't have anything yet, so you're a fresh slate. If you have a business and you've got people, see who wants to go with you. Tell them your goal and say, you want to be part of it. Do you want to, I'm going diamond. Do you want me to help you get to a solid gold? Qualify, you know, it's what, 5,000 a month. If they do, you know, give them an assignment. See what you've got. And if they're not there, let them go or let them be there. Be there to help them when they want you, but go find new people. That's the best message I can give you. Okay. Deb, I'm going to let you close it out. And I literally am not saying another word.
David, just before you finish, I know I only just posted it in Debbie's Diamond group this afternoon. I'm going to do a Thursday skincare therapy session at 8 o'clock. So that's on. I put it in the chat box, 434-434-1000. Password is welcome. So it's really kind of just the same as the Facelift Friday, but it's skincare therapy Thursday.
Awesome. That's for everybody, guys. You can see it. It's right there. And that's an easy hook right there. Everybody wants to look younger.
Well, it's much easier to understand that besides redox. So, and Carolyn does a beautiful job. So yeah, if you can get people to that, do that. And it's on Debbie's Diamond Days because she posts it there too. So that's great. Anyway, I will just say goodbye in case somebody does want to go to the global one and hear some more about this weekend. And it's always great being with all of you. And since everyone's really psyched, set your goal. We would love to see them. And please work with one of us, David or myself or Amy or Carolyn or Edwina, whoever's your upline diamond. Please work. And I would like to know everyone who's moving this coming year. So that would be great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Actually, Debbie, you're right. We should submit a business plan to the mentor who's working with you.
Yes.
Like I shoot my mouth off, right? I'm not even sure can I go to Ambassador Diamond. But see how that gap is huge, you know. But well, if I can work out a plan and work at it, maybe I can shoot for the moon and probably hit the stars. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they gave me some idea of what I should think about, which was helpful.
All right. And what I'll do is work out the plans and maybe be able to put it out to you guys so it can help you, you know, get down what you need to put down and how many people you need to talk to. We have that. I used to work with people once a week, and we have, you know, we got how many people you needed to talk to before you actually got somebody in, and how many people you needed to talk to before you got a leader. And it was according to your skill set at the time. So
amazing.
I have all those papers, so I can put that back out for people.
And I hope everybody has seen Mal Sword's Road to Bronze and Road to Diamond. If you haven't, it's on the infrastructure document. You need to watch that. It's on the training page, and it'll give you the numbers of the people you're going to need to talk to on average. He just goes through what he saw, what he sees average, and get a game plan in place, and then it's just about action. So
I think he talks more about how many you need in your organization, but you'll need to at least 3 times that, depending on your skill set, as to how many you need to talk to. So, you know,
Maybe your document will complement that. You're right. Malcolm only talks about what you need for that rank, not what you need to work on.
Right.
So we like the document to complement it.
okay. All right, I will go dig that up and get it out. I worked with Trish. That's who I reported to for quite some time with those paperwork.
Will
So
you
it's
send
really
that
good.
to me? Debbie, I'd like a copy of it too, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll get it out to
She'll
everybody.
post it. You can post it on Debbie's Diamond Days.
Yep.
All right. So
Edwina, when you said that about the stars and the moon, ever
Mm-hmm.
since my kids were little, I always said to them, if you reach for the moon, you'll always come out with stars in your hands.
Mhm.
Always. And I say,
That's why your mom, Barbara. That's why your mom to me, right?
What?
That's why your mom to me.
That's right. That's right. From the second I met you, I knew you were a star.
Yep. Yep.
So if anybody wants to get more info from GoPro, go over to discoverasia.com right now. It's going on right now. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Everybody.
Make it a great